How to keep company culture while working from home. In this video, you're going to learn strategies to engage your employees whether they're working from home or in the office. Since COVID, we have more workers working from home than ever before. And many people are feeling like their company culture has disintegrated or it's deteriorating because they don't know how to engage with employees when we're spread out all over the world and all in our own homes, talking to each other in Zoom and never actually getting to see each other in person. Some workers today have never met any of their colleagues. They were hired into their role in a work from home position and they're isolated, and it feels like that must be a disaster for company culture. But the truth is, company culture can be developed and it can be nurtured, it can be created intentionally, no matter where you are. The problem is that many leaders think that culture only happens in the office. They feel like it is confined to the four walls of the workplace. And that's just not the case. Culture happens regardless of whether you're virtual or not. It doesn't only happen at the water cooler. It doesn't only happen when you're seated around a table. It can happen in a Zoom call. It can happen on a text message. It can happen all over the place. And so today we're going to talk about what culture really is and how you can foster a culture that nurtures employees and engages your workforce regardless of whether you're in home, in the office, or hybrid. According to Glint, at least 87% of employees say that they want to work from home at least half the time. And so a key talent attraction and retention strategy is to allow your employees to work from home and not force them to go into the office. I think many leaders are starting to realize that this remote hybrid environment is here to stay. And so we need to get good at engaging employees regardless of where they are. This is actually a great opportunity for leaders. It means that they get to up-level their skills and not just lean on the tools that they have used when we're all together in the office for creating a culture of engagement. It's easy to develop culture when you think that it's just about how you chat at the water cooler or going up to someone's desk and asking how their day was or having lunch together and talking about family. But that's not really culture. Culture is what drives business results. And in order to facilitate culture, you need to understand exactly what it is and how it works. The definition of culture is the experiences which shape our beliefs, which lead to the actions that we take, and therefore get us results. And so we need to be intentional about the experiences that we create for each other, for our teams, and we can do that virtually or in person. When you join a new company and you get on the first Zoom call with your manager and they say, "Welcome to the company," that is an experience. It's going to lead you to a belief about whether they care about you, whether they're a good manager. What your first impression is, that can happen whether you're in a Zoom or in person. And that belief is going to determine your actions, and those actions will get results. So you see, you can create experiences regardless of where you are. It's all about understanding what kinds of experiences exist and how you can intentionally create those so that they're tied to the key results and the cultural beliefs that you want to foster in your organization. The purpose that I connect with is to unleash the power of culture to inspire businesses and people to reach their full potential. If that purpose speaks to you as well, then subscribe to this channel to become a part of the community and to receive some resources so that you can drive an intentional workplace culture that gets you results. One tool that you can use to boost engagement is feedback. So many leaders are afraid to give feedback because it's scary to tell people that they need to improve. Giving constructive feedback is really challenging, actually, and we have a method for doing it really well so that you're driving a culture that makes people feel seen, feel heard, and makes people feel like they're being developed. So here's how you do it. First, you want to welcome your employees to give you feedback. We lead by example. By showing them that you're open to receiving feedback, you're fostering a culture in which they realize that maybe it's not so difficult to get feedback when you finally do give them feedback. So first, invite people to share their thoughts with you about how you're doing. And the way that you do that is not by saying, "Do you have any feedback for me?" Because, like I said, it's scary to give feedback. If someone asked me if I had any feedback, the easy answer is, "No, I don't have any feedback. You're doing great." So instead, invite them to give you feedback by saying, What feedback do you have for me? By asking it that way, they're forced to think of something, and maybe it creates an environment in which they feel more comfortable sharing what it is that's come up for them. Now, when you're giving appreciative feedback, you want to tie that feedback to how it's driving results and the cultural beliefs that you're nurturing in the organization. So don't just say, hey, you're doing a really good job of being proactive. Share how their action has reinforced the cultural beliefs that the organization holds. And then share how that's going to impact the key results. Your success is going to be in how you tie the feedback to the cultural beliefs and the results. Remember, culture is experiences, feedback is an experiences, which shapes beliefs. Share how your feedback is nurturing the beliefs you want to see. And those beliefs drive action, and that action gets results. So it's all connected. When you're sharing constructive feedback, you can still tie it to cultural beliefs and key results. But it doesn't have to be about how they're failing to meet the key results or failing to align with the cultural beliefs. You can share what you would want to see in order for them to be even more aligned with the cultural beliefs or to get even closer to achieving those key results. And once you've given feedback, you always respond with, thank you for the feedback. It takes courage to lead and courage to give feedback, and it is nice to appreciate that moment of vulnerability in each other whenever feedback is exchanged. Another tool which helps create intentional experiences that will lead to cultural beliefs, which lead to action and lead to results, is formal recognition. The way that we recognize the work that we're doing can be tied, once again, to the cultural beliefs we're nurturing and the key results. Creating that link makes it so much more clear why you're recognizing the work that they're doing and how they can continue to do things that you will recognize in the future. So again, this doesn't have to be in person. You can recognize people in a Zoom call. You can recognize people on the phone, in a text message. You can even recognize people in a Slack channel. Our organization has a Slack channel specifically for recognition where people can publicly recognize each other for how they are living the cultural beliefs that we share and how that's helping us drive to our key results. That's an experience that everyone gets to share in across the whole company, and it's virtual. Everyone works from home, and yet we're still fostering culture, which is experiences leading to beliefs that lead to action and get results. So to give you an example, I work from home, and in my first week at Culture Partners, one of my colleagues welcomed me to the team, and they used the language of culture to create an experience for me. And this is what they said. They said, "The experience I want you to have is one in which you believe that I support the work that you're doing 100%. And then they asked for feedback. They said, what feedback do you have for me about whether or not you've had that experience with me? That was on the phone. And that's culture development. Culture has nothing to do with sharing pictures of your pets on Slack or having happy hours in Zoom. I think everyone's probably tired of those Zoom happy hours by now. Culture is about intentional language that helps reinforce shared cultural beliefs that get us the results we need to achieve. We all become part of the same purpose and mission, and we're rowing in the same direction. And you can do that in a virtual environment or at home. So I have a gift for you. I've created a guide to turning hybrid culture into growth opportunities, and it shares tools on how you can create an intentional workplace culture in a hybrid environment. Click the link below or go to gift.culture.io in order to get the guide.